So quick intro of myself. My name's Mike Cortez. I own a digital marketing agency. And we started off focusing purely on helping small business owners adapt with the times, which was learning everything from paid ads to SEO to web design, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now we're evolving into software development and building solutions and that bring results with the help of AI. So at the end of the day, my customers don't care how I do it. I could talk their heads off about SEO and whatever, but at the end of the day, they just want appointments, they want sales, they want results. So that's now where we purely focus. And that's what we want to talk about moving forward. But before we do, we want to do a little bit of a crowd assessment here. Who here has used AI? Like just free, okay. So maybe, I'm sorry, can you keep your hands up? Because I'm going to do something after this. So a good majority, maybe just, I'm surprised you haven't, dude. Why? You have to play with AI. Both of you. So that's a good amount. You don't have to keep your hands out. I don't want to tire you out. So that's good to know. So everyone here, 99%, let's just say, have tried AI. Who here is paying for a subscription? Even $20, $15? Okay, so about half. That's good. Now, who here is using AI to actually get results in your business, like tangibly figuring out how to solve problems? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that number's getting smaller and smaller, right? I got a this, right? Like kind of a. So if you look at this graph right here, this is a really interesting graph of the population of the world. Every dot that you see there is 3.2 million people. Everyone in gray in the world have never even touched ChatGPT. So the majority of you all are in the green. These are people that have tried, at least at the very minimum, tried a free subscription. Everyone in the yellow down there on the bottom right, those are the people paying $20 or just a subscription for, so like the rest that I just asked about, those people are paying for AI. That little tiny red dot that you see on the bottom right, that is 0.04% of the world population, and they are actually building software with AI. Ivan and I are in that category. I hope some of you are at least trying or attempting to be in that category. But we truly believe that that small 0.04% is the innovators that will change the world and have the ability to make a difference either in their lives, their families' lives, their businesses, wherever they can possibly, because they're attempting something that the majority of the world isn't even trying. So that's kind of the big premise of what we're talking about here. Do we have any restaurants or bar owners? Restaurant, bar, what's your?
Restaurant, bar.
Both, okay. Awesome, okay. Any other restaurant or bar owners by chance? Okay, so I'm gonna use a quick example on, just to make it tangible, right? Have you ever used AI for like images? Okay. You've kind of tried?
A lot of our marketing with AI
Okay.
and ChatGPT, I love it.
Okay, great, awesome. So what I did is I chose a few different restaurants locally to just show an example of how photography and AI can kind of work together. On the left, this is a iPhone photo, not bad, actually pretty decent for the staging and all that they did. On the right is the AI version of it without losing any of the actual like substance of the product, right? And the reason why I'm bringing this up is most restaurants and bar owners don't realize photography is everything in their business. And I'll talk to you guys directly since you're the owners. If you just show one of these photos, let's just say in the middle, this is Si Senor restaurant. I don't know if you guys know this restaurant or not. I'm sure it's delicious, but that's not the most appetizing image. Now look to the right, how much better does that look? Exact same substance. I actually made sure that in the prompt, it did not change anything about that dish. That's me trying to find the ethical middle ground, which is hard, right, with AI. Down here is Taste of India. I love this restaurant. Same thing, not the best iPhone image, but when you throw it into a different setting, better lighting, studio lighting, now we're talking, right? It's just a little bit of a tweak that makes a big difference. So this is just a tiny example of how AI can help your small business for the sake of, restaurants and bars. And then Ivan's going to talk a little bit about how we go the next level with using actual development and coding with AI. So I guess just so you know, Ivan created a full-on brand, logo, e-commerce store, all in an hour, right? Less than an hour.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's kind of the message we were trying to show off to you. It's not the most glamorous looking e-commerce store. If you put 2 hours into it, it'll probably be a lot better. But the idea was to show you guys that it's possible to really go from zero development knowledge to a full-on e-commerce platform without even paying for Shopify, which to me is empowering. That's now the ability for you to build a brand, build an online presence without needing to pay for so many subscriptions. Like, I hate subscriptions. I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of them. The other part that we were going to show, and unfortunately, we'll jump into it after this, but we wanted to kind of get a feel of what kind of AI platforms have people used here. If we just throw out some names, anything up here on the screen by chance? Chat, Gemini, Claude. Anyone use Perplexity or Copilot? Perplexity?
I've used Perplexity.
Okay. So each of these are kind of like, we call them like the four horsemen, right? But these are like the large language model, let's just call them the top ones, right? And everyone's building an AI these days, but these are kind of the most relevant ones. They all have their expertise and weaknesses. Some people are biased to one versus the other. I personally don't really care what you choose. I just want you to use AI. Ivan, I think you use what, Claude?
Yeah, pretty
Mostly.
much only use Claude.
Same here, so I mostly use Claude. Perplexity I use as like a research tool. Gemini is great for image generation and video generation. They probably have the better, that's all the images I showed you before were Gemini. So just know that there's benefits and, kind of like ups and downs for all of them. We threw in Copilot just for the sake of, most people don't even realize that you're using Copilot. If you have Excel, if you have Word, if you have any of the Microsoft products. Microsoft also owns ChatGPT or OpenAI, so it all kind of blends in together. We also wanted to mention that a lot of you are using AI and don't even realize it. In the back end of your Shopify store, of your Notion, if you use Notion, Gmail, your Square account, Instagram. Instagram's the biggest one. We're all getting bombarded by an algorithm without really knowing why we're seeing the content that we're seeing. All of that is AI. And even like, let's say, for example, Canva, I'm sure a lot of people here have tried Canva. There's a really amazing AI built into Canva. You just have to play around with it and try to learn this new approach to design and flyers like you all make for social media. I wanted to give an example. Of, unfortunately, we can't connect on the computer right now. But for the sake of restaurants and bars, I wanted to actually upload some mock-up data to show some tangible solutions that AI can help you with besides just images and all of that. So if you all visualize with me, I had a few data CSV files that basically had the schedule for the employees at a restaurant, right? So you have your bartenders, your hostess, the waiters, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Do you all do a lot of scheduling? Is that a big problem?
When we had it open, yeah, we did. a lot of
Okay.
scheduling.
That must have been like a chore,
We
right?
had a kitchen, we had front of the
Yeah,
staff, we had
the kitchen.
security,
Yeah.
I had 3 schedules.
So you have a lot of people telling you their schedules. Some people are in college. They have weird off hours. It's a lot of organizing, a lot of like coordination. If you were to have a CSV file, and maybe we can do it right now, hopefully, with everyone's schedule, with your availability or the positions that you need to do every day, combine those with AI and basically have ChatGPT organize it for you, it would do it for you immediately. And it would find gaps and openings where you didn't realize were there. We have a gap for a busboy or what do you call them, bussers? Bussers. We have a gap here that we need to fill. Now you have to like call some people and figure out how do we fill this gap, right? Otherwise you deal with problems you don't want to deal with. That's a very quick example on how to use AI to kind of solve day-to-day problems. Another example, maybe we'll get on the screen for you, but another example was inventory. Inventory is very annoying, especially when you're trying to deal, for example, with the restaurants and bars. You need to know what all your food cost is, how much inventory you have, what are the prices you're putting on your menu. And I have a presentation here that hopefully shows up. The AI basically combined all of these data points, 3 different CSV files, and it identified, hey, the burrito bowl is costing you $200 a week. You didn't realize that because you weren't really crunching the numbers like you probably should have. Guacamole is costing $200 extra a week because you're adding too much to these dishes and not pricing accordingly, right? So those are quick examples of how AI can really organize your life and solve day-to-day problems. The problem is you all have to ask better questions, and that's up to you, that's up to your life. I run a marketing agency, so I'm biased towards solving marketing problems and now software and all of that. But you all need to start asking questions about your day-to-day. For example, I just built myself a personal finance bot. For me, I'm horrible when it comes to checking my bank account. I know I need to. We all know we need to, right? So instead of me having to remind myself, okay, open the bank account, check my budget, check my balance sheet, all that stuff, I basically built a bot that connects to my bank, and then it knows my daily expenses. I have a budget set for myself, and every morning it tells me, hey, this is how much money is in your checking, your savings. You've been spending way too much on coffee, chill, like you need to slow down. Maybe don't get another dinner this week, wait until next week. Like I have it actually be my personal finance like bookkeeper in a lot of ways. But you all have to ask the question of what's the day-to-day annoyances or problems that you want to solve. I guess while we're kind of finalizing that stuff, any questions on what I'm talking about right now? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I find the functionality that you found with that financial bookkeeper
Oh, yeah.
so fascinating. What kind of safeguards or security measures did you implement because you're letting AI?
Yeah, that's a lot of sensitive
Yeah.
data that I'm giving to AI, right? So I'm using Plaid. I don't know if you've heard of Plaid before. If you ever connect your bank account to an app, let's just say if it's like Rocket Money or some kind of budgeting app, it uses Plaid as the connector to be that middleman security level, I guess you could say. Plaid also comes built in as a connector in Claude and different AIs, because I had the same concern that you did. Now, Claude reading that information, there's a certain gray area where I'm just kind of accepting that it's going to know my finances. Maybe that's not the smartest, but if that's going to help me save money every week or month so that I can invest it and put into better things, that's the trade-off I'm choosing, right? If you want to be more secure, build something locally on your computer and don't let it touch the internet if you really want to be secure. Are we doing good over here? Okay. So we're going to bounce back to Ivan's presentation showing off what he built from scratch using zero coding. He's a developer, but he didn't code any of this by hand. Do you want to jump into that real quick?
Yep. So yeah, just wanted to, so as I mentioned, I sort of generated like some financials for Chukoducky. So one thing that you can do is you can actually query on top of this. So how is revenue looking? And it's going to actually use a skill to go through the spreadsheet and try to figure out what that looks like. While that's loading, we can also, I also generated a business plan, as I mentioned. So there's a strategic business plan, executive summary, the vision. I also plugged in the financials, so it would sort of highlight directly from those financials. So we could prompt questions about that as well, and challenge things. And after I generated all that, then I said, okay, well, now we need a brand. And so Claude just came out with this tool called Claude Design. And so came up with this as sort of like the design system for Chukoducky. I really didn't plug much in. So this is like, it's just like making stuff up. But overall, I think it did a good job of like putting together some colors that we could use. some of the narrative behind what this brand is going to be. So generate all that. But before we go there, looks like in 2020 we did 145 million, and we can see increases every year. That's fine. But I think the important thing is we can actually prompt and ask these questions like on an Excel sheet. I don't know if anybody has any questions about the fabricated financials. No? Okay. Cool. And then the last thing I did, again, like I kind of did this in an hour just to see how much I could get done. I found this product called Bloom by Medusa, which is like a open source competitor to Shopify. And they actually have they have a product that allows you to basically just with a single prompt to go from nothing to a full web store where you can sell your CPG product. It's building right now, so I can't show it to you until it finishes building, but as soon as it's ready, I can show that. And it has the full cart functionality.
That's freaking amazing.
And yeah,
That is freaking amazing.
had the cart. It followed most of the design system that I provided. But yeah, again, started with nothing. An hour later, I had theoretically a business plan, financial projections, a design system, and a web store to actually sell the chocolate. The only thing is I don't actually have the chocolate. So, but I think going 0 to 1 can be super helpful, and then if you actually get traction, then you go to Leah, and she'll show you how to take it from 1 to 100, so yeah, we can went through.
So I was building your store. What about the back end functionality of like tracking customers and customer lists and all that kind of data?
Yeah, so I didn't dig too deep into it, but it should have most of the functionality that's built into Shopify, because it's just an open source competitor of it. So yeah, I just don't know how robust it is.
Yeah, but basically it's following like what Shopify offers.
Yep.
Jeff, how much time do we have?
Yeah,
10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Is there any business owners in here or entrepreneurs, anyone that can throw out their industry and maybe we can solve some problems for you right now? You could just be, either your business or I don't want to do therapy for you guys in front of everyone. I'm just asking for like, if you have a business brand or an idea, maybe we can help come up with AI ideas. Yes, sir.
I'll throw one out there. So certain quotes that we're sending out, we're doing Excel, but we're having to like hand key everything in, pricing.
Quotes for which industry?
It's printing.
For printing. Okay. So right now it's very manual, right?
Yeah, so we have, our logbooks of pricing,
Mhm.
hand keying everything in there.
Okay. How much time does that generally take you to do?
Depends how big the quote is.
Yeah.
Anywhere, a couple minutes.
Okay.
You can spend up to 20 minutes on a
Yeah.
quote.
And that's because you have to check out your inventory, how much printing you're going to do for them, if you have to order some more product, right? A lot of.
Price breaks. things
Okay.
like that.
Do you already have some type of formulas in place on Excel, or have you gone that far for any of that?
No, not
Okay.
formulas. We have pricing, but
Okay.
not how that pricing applies to the
Okay.
job.
I would start first with organizing, like big picture. So if that's inventory, start there. Maybe use like Google Sheets or something that's dynamic that you can update remotely, or just even have like plug in like Gemini or any of these available AIs that plug into it. Notion is really good for self-organization, whether it's your business or your personal life. It has a really good built-in AI tool as well that you could just talk to, and you don't have to know much about building Notion boards anymore. It just builds it for you. You just tell it your idea. But first and foremost, you need a very clean data set, which is your inventory, so that the AI knows what to start with or what to work with, and then you direct. It's like you're talking to spreadsheets now. That's kind of the idea. And then when it comes to invoicing, do you use like QuickBooks or some type of software for the invoicing, or is it all just like PDFs, Word?
For the print side of everything, we're using Monday.
Monday? Okay, so Monday's great. So Monday is like Notion. So you should be able to plug in your AI, or Monday should have an AI built in, where you can have it help you organize yourself better. It's all about organization. How do you clean up your digital infrastructure just like you guys do physically? And then work with the AI. The best thing I would tell you is just ask it questions. If you don't know how to make better invoices, ask Claude, ask Monday.com, ask whichever AI you're comfortable with. The better questions you ask, the better answers you get. It's really that simple, you know. But thank you. Any other industries before we wrap up pretty soon? Or businesses, organizations, nonprofits, law firms? Yes, sir.
So, a friend and I are trying to start a nonprofit.
Okay.
What we're trying to do is bring a community center or a youth center here to Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Okay.
We are currently talking to people that can help us with that and grant writers. As well. So we're lower level. We just started. This is all new to me.
Yeah.
I'm older, so I've never even used ChatGPT.
Right, right.
How could we use that to help what we're trying to do? And it's a nonprofit.
If your money source is grants, I would use either Perplexity or Claude to help you find more grants. Make it your research agent or research bot so that you can really identify, okay, this is our nonprofit, this is the territory that we're trying to bring grant money into, and have your AI find the best fits for your specific mission. At the very beginning, at the very least, instead of just Googling grant money or, you know, like, because you got to do a lot of reading and digging and hoping for the best. I don't know if I'd have AI speak on your behalf yet, but at the very least, it could bring you more opportunities that you never would have found otherwise. And then you can speak with AI to kind of fine tune your idea and your message. Maybe sometimes you just need a little bit of professional help. Just basically have it be my expert grant writer that is specialized in your nonprofit organization's territory.
You can save whatever your nonprofit's thesis is as like another prompt, or you can also store it in like a skill or something within whatever platform you use to better like fill out the grant quickly. But I think I'm sure what Mike's noticed as well is like I'm often like using like like AI agents at the same time. The job has gone, as a software engineer, the job's gone away from like me handwriting code to reviewing code and making sure that it's at the quality that I expect. And I imagine the same. We also would like support a law firm with their agentic workflows. It's the same thing. Their job is moving more towards review rather than handwriting every single line. So I imagine it can be helpful for grant writing, but it needs to be reviewed by a human, because otherwise there's a term called AI slop, like it's just AI slop. So,
Okay.
but that's not to say it can't be helpful. The other thing too is once you get going, I think when you have to capture data and report it back to whoever gave you the grant, you can also use AI to clean up data or to create like graphs and stuff like that. I imagine you can save a lot of time with AI for that. So.
Yes.
I have a question. So when I first started using ChatGPT, it was like through chat. I just had big long lists of them, and I really like the thing you said, cleaning up the digital infrastructure.
Yeah.
Resonating with me. How do you personally organize your AI? Do you do it by project? I started finding like themes across different chats, but
Right.
it's kind of too late to merge it. I don't know if I could.
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's interesting because everyone does it a very different way. If you want to go the deep level that Ivan goes, I don't know what extent you go on your end, but some people create skills on Claude. I don't know if you use Claude. Yeah, it might be time. I would recommend Claude. I think it's really, really good. But it's cool because with Claude, you can create skills which are essentially like tiny experts that they're only good at one thing and one thing only. You can keep updating it and making it better and have a bunch of those. So now you have a team of, let's just say, a marketing team, you have a development team, et cetera, et cetera. Projects is probably the easiest way to get started. What I've been doing is I've been downloading books from experts that I trust. So I have a direct marketing brain, which is from authors like Alex Hormozy, Dan Kennedy, Seth Godin. I have another brain for finance and investing, so it's like Warren Buffett
So you're
and
doing it to read those books and like
yeah.
assume that role. Wow.
Yeah. So now I'm speaking to my mentors, quote unquote. I'm speaking to the books. I'm not just reading them anymore. But I have little compartments, which are projects that I talk to, and I just start a new chat within the project. And then within that project, you have instructions of you are my expert level financial advisor. I don't know, whatever and then you give it deep instructions, and you can use Claude to help you fine tune that as well. I don't know how you might organize your.
Yeah, I think projects is a great way to organize that. So in here you can see like here we had the needle music and it has like some context. You know, and I don't think we really had this built out, but I'm trying to see. Okay, this is some team projects that we have. So in here we have something called Agency OS, and we actually like store files in there. And so anybody at El Paso Labs that needs to prompt over Agency OS, we have this project as like shared context for everybody. So you can do that. In Cowork, the other thing you can do, I actually have a folder in my computer called Agency OS, and all the documents that I need, which is mostly just like strategic documents, I have them all in there, and then I'm able to select that and then just start prompting and assuming that if I say like, oh, regarding this ebook or whatever, like just like pretty vague, it knows that it's in that folder and will just pull the information it needs. So
I need to know how to do that. I just have to like upload a PDF every time or something.
yes,
But
yeah.
it's really nice that ideally I would be able to organize it as my folders just on my desktop or my Dropbox.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what
Yeah.
Cowork helps you with.
Cool.
So Cowork is a Claude tool. That's what Ivan is showing right here. So Cowork connects directly to a folder on your computer, or let's just say folder. Let's say you have your, let's just say personal finance folder or something that has to do with college, like your classes. It only reads what's in those folders and only has a conversation on what's going on in those folders. That can be for development, like building websites and software. That could be for, so, I mean, I know people that use it for like therapy, like personal therapy and weird. I mean, it's.
You shouldn't do that.
I wouldn't recommend it, but I mean, it's people do it, you know.
It was just like a special genre.
It's a little, yeah, it's a little weird, but I'm sorry. Was there a question?
It's not a question, I just kind of want to make a statement. I do use Claude a lot.
Okay.
For writing, for doing keyword optimization.
Nice.
And stuff like that. Yeah, because my business, I write stories about local businesses.
Okay.
So that's part of what I use it for, but I use it for a lot of other things. But I also represent a nonprofit, and I have the new, the Pocket AI
Mm.
to connect to the back of your phone.
Oh, dispatch.
So they nominated me secretary, which they should not have, that's not me. But the only reason I took the position was because I had that, like with Pocket AI.
Mhm.
So when the meeting starts, I start him.
And it transcribes, right? That
and,
device.
Yeah, he transcribes
Yeah.
everything, and he gets speaker, I mean, we had like up to 7, 8 speakers, and he specifies which speaker
Yeah.
is speaking, it's really cool, so. When I'm done, I never know if it's upload or download, but I put it onto to the app, and he even has his own, internet that I can do quick,
Interesting.
cause it's hours, I mean, we're in there maybe 2-3 hours, so a nonprofit, this is like so good for you.
Yeah, and then otherwise you have to be writing down
Oh,
notes
Lord.
and then stopping the conversation to
Yeah,
write
do
notes,
not.
and that.
So, I mean, you keep your own notes, you know, you kind of keep your own notes, but then I can get my summary, I can get the transcript,
Mhm.
and I plug it into Claude.
Yeah.
And he knows the parameters of how I need the minutes for the meeting, so
Yeah.
that I can send it all out. But the other thing that I do, so that's an awesome thing to do if you're in any board meetings and you need that kind of information. But the other thing that I do with it is I do keep like a project in my Claude, and everything that has to do with my nonprofit that
Yeah.
we run, I put emails in it, I put every single piece of information. Now Claude knows the people by name. They'll say, oh, you need to write this to.
Has
Dad,
profiles on
you need to
everyone.
do that. Like he knows all of, I think it's a he, my father's and so he knows exactly what's going on in the whole, this whole nonprofit. nonprofit thing.
Yeah.
Because he has every email, every single
Conversation,
thing that
transcripts.
I do it out of there, so
Yeah.
that it.
Yeah, and just imagine how much time that would take for you to do
There's no way
without.
I could do it.
Yeah.
It's like I have a whole group helping me, so.
Yeah, and that's a good example of how AI can really change your day-to-day, your life,
Yeah,
your
there's just
productivity.
no way the things that I've been able to develop.
Right.
I mean, I have extremely great ideas, but can't do it. I did have a question though. I do use Grok a lot, so
Okay,
I did not
interesting.
see him up there. And
We
I think
actually-
Grok is a guy, I don't know either.
We specifically kept we specifically kept Grok out because Grok is kind of like the more spicy one.
He's mean.
You know? Yeah, he's spicy. She I don't know what, but yeah, Grok is spicy. So.
He is, but you know, I have to, after you get to know him a bit, but I think he tests you because he did test me.
Really?
I had to stand up to him.
Okay, good.
And now
Yeah.
we're really copacetic now.
Fight the power.
Yeah.
Claude was actually fighting me right now because I was working with the fabricated financials, and I was like, just treat them like they're real. And I was like, whoa, like if you send this to like SBA, like this is fraud. Like, oh my gosh, okay, just yeah.
Pretend you're a financial advisor.
I'm glad it gives the warnings in those situations because my background, I'm an attorney, but oftentimes I'll have a client saying, hey, I ran this dispute through ChatGPT. Is this what I should be doing? And now all of that information you just put into ChatGPT does not have attorney-client privilege with me. It can be discoverable.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
So when you're dealing with your lawsuits and you want guidance on things, make sure you just say hypothetically, but also that hypothetically is discoverable too. So be careful when you're putting confidential information, if it's part of your business or part of a dispute that you're working on, that is free range for the opposing side to go get that information. But we can take one more question and then, but yeah,
Yep.
thank you.
Anybody by chance?
I have one, but.
Okay.
Okay, how would you, no, this is such a, does anyone actually have a good question? How would you recommend transitioning from chat to Claude?
There's actually, I think Claude allows you. I think I'll look it up and I'll let you know right away. But I believe Claude has a built-in capability to transfer your complete chats from OpenAI to Claude because they're trying to pull away that competition, right? There is a way. It may not keep certain essences of like the personality that you built with it, but at least the chat log you can, I believe, transfer fully to Claude. So like you really never skipped a beat there. Anyone else, or are we good?
Thank you.
All right, thank you everyone.
Mike and I-
Appreciate it. No.